horse races. Literally, nearly. Tellurides are actually, I heard there's good things about Tellurides. See a Telluride is what that was. Want some horns. Timer. Stopwatch. Alarm. My hat's off to all the cinematographers, man. This stuff is very difficult. Try to get something interesting. It's like entertainment with the natural world around you. Absolutely no charge, too, as long as you've got a good camera. It's all there waiting for you to capture. Of course, at least you're a set builder and stuff like that. Then you can manipulate the environment around you to get the shot. A lot of times it's just already there. You just have to know how to find it. And I'm not claiming to be Michael Ballas or anything. Same area. All right, now we try A.
It's time for an Office Space break. The 1999 comedy Mike Judge's Office Space. The very first shot was filmed right off LBJ looking east. As you can see here, there's the Building 3 Galleria, also known as the Weston Tower. And you look to the left there, we'll match up the shot. Here we go. Below is the Office Space movie, and right there to the left is where it was filmed. All right, that's Michael. He's a coach for cheerleaders. It says about A. I guess it's like a, I don't know, the best of the cheerleaders around. I don't know. I don't think it's beyond high school. So it's for basketball teams and things like that. That probably lead to NBA. They've got people that
teach cheerleading. So if you're a cheerleader, and we're gonna head back for number 3. Yeah, this is interesting. It's a cheerleader athletics for cheer, dance, and tumbling. Way out here in Plano. And they also have Varsity Spirit too. It's coming out of well, Chicago was his layover, but he's from Virginia. Do a little cheer, kitty. Let's see, here we go. That's a nice twist there. Look at kitty go. Just cheering all day long, aren't you, kitty? There we go. Happy kitty. All right, enough craziness about Mack truck. So we're gonna try out this stuff right here, which is Vermont original. Vermont original. They're beef and pork sticks. Huh. Part of these are just opening them up right here. Like a traveling package. It's like split in 2. See? Comes off right there. It's a skill. It takes time on these. Because then you're left with like this, which is harder. You can try to just do it from the bottom that way. And then you've got it. Voila. One thing about church YouTube, or if you're, a church and you're on YouTube, like MacArthur Boulevard Baptist, for example, I think their setup is really great. I don't see much of a community on the YouTube site. So you go over to community, you can share photos, you can have things that you write. There's more they can access, and I'm not putting down MacArthur Boulevard because they have a wonderful website. But they want to access the full opportunity of YouTube. They also want to log their sermons. Now, there's probably a lot of debate within the church on why they're not logging the sermons on YouTube, but that's church history. So, sermons are logged sometimes on their site, on their website, through iPod, or it's like podcast and things like that. That's great too. I listened to one of Ricky's sermons just the other day on Revelations. But why not access all of YouTube and log the sermons for people to go back and learn from, for the love of mercy, I would even want to go back and study some of the sermons, because the stuff at MacArthur Boulevard is some of the best stuff around. So right now, how they have it is in the morning around 9 o'clock in the morning or whenever on Sundays, you can go and just listen to the live stream, and that's fine. And that may be what God wants. I don't know. But I am in the going like, what? I'm in the awe or the mystery of why not log those wonderful sermons, especially the ones that Josh did back whenever, when they just had the website, and it was logged. You could go back and watch some of them, and then you could also do the podcast. Now the podcast is logged, so that's archived. They do have an archived podcast, so that'll still work. But I just don't understand. They have unlimited space on YouTube. It's unlimited, so why not use it? It's just something I'm throwing out there. It would be like, this would be the same argument, and let me switch over so you can see me talk. My argument to the church about logging the sermons is, think of Martin Luther getting hold of the printing press and then using it to make Bibles. So now everybody can have a Bible. Yes, okay, MacArthur Boulevard is not necessarily the Bible, but they're using the Bible and they quote the Bible. So I just think it'd be neat, so that when you go back and you see a sermon, you can hit on it and that sermon is there. Now that can be later on, that can be interpreted, and they say, well, the minister said this and that and that, and they can hold it against them or whatever, because they may have said something wrong about theology. But for the love of mercy, that they're human anyway. Everyone makes mistakes. I say flubs all the time on my show. I let everybody see everything. Well, not everything, but I have flubs that I say, and I say wrong things and stuff, but you know, every church has their own different ways of doing things. So it's probably common among a lot of churches to do live stream for the service, you know, because it takes place at that moment. It's just like being there, and then it, you know, goes away. So it's an interesting argument. I haven't really come across any churches that have talked about why they would only live stream and not store their sermons to be listened to over and over again. I think it's more evangelical to store them, and so that they can access them and then listen to them again. To me, that seems more evangelical. Another argument, I think, why churches should store their sermons on YouTube so you can see it is, what about the sermon had a certain theme? So let's say someone got online, they were interested in the Lord, they were seeking out something, and they found the theme that talked about, let's say, God in prayer, or let's say death, or let's say afterlife and Jesus Christ or something, right? They would put that theme in, and all of a sudden your church would come up, and people are accessing your church and your sermon to have an understanding of the Lord and of the way of Christ and of Christianity and of worship and things like that. Because that's why we go to church. We go to learn, right? But we also go to worship. So, I don't know. Oh, well. I mean, you couldn't always access. What's interesting about sermons is you still hear about sermons that were spoken about from great ministers over a long period of time where there was no YouTube. So, YouTube's not the be-all, end-all. But it's just it's an idea to log, you know, what you're talking about. Great people, I mean, great writers like John Newton did that, and Pilgrim's Progress writer John Bunyan did it. They logged it, but they used pen and paper, so it still could be accessed. It's not the end of the world, it's just YouTube. But I just think it's cool, you know, to have it, like all the sermons there. You can access them from different years and stuff like that, and see the sermon and everything, and see how the person progresses and how the church progresses and stuff. And they're all the way from Florida. That's where the oranges grow. Oranges. the hellish traffic, you see Josie Records right there. They have a little stage too. It's right next to Cavender's Boots. Right there in the center. Barely can see it. We'll go under the bridge and then you'll be able to see it. I'll roll the window down a little bit. There's the very corner part of Josie's. We've done a few vlogs. I think 3. I think we've done 2 to 3 vlogs. I know for sure we've done 2 vlogs there. I've done an independent one on Facebook. There it is. You can buy, sell records, trade CDs, LPs. That's Josie's. What does it say? SOLR and then what, P? And that's an R, D, E? What the heck is that? Same old right here. The old E7. All right, now we pick up Linda. And they're all the way from Florida. I'd say probably maybe like 2011.
There's not a sports one though. Remember mine was a sports. I forget the difference. I think it's just the liters.
I think yours is a G5, something like that. See, everyone has the right to do a documentary about police corruption. And you ask 4 things. BRAT, badge number, rank, association, and title. That's all you need. Then you expose it